a person a being, something that is seeing a new land for the first time. Except this person seems to have this sense of impermanence. He talks about that person existing in ancient times, for example. Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel, Dr. Nick Analyzes, where I do a psychological analysis of various media. I'm a big fan of Dimash. I've reacted to a number of his videos, including 2 reactions to the Story of One Sky, the cinematic version and the Almaty version, and I loved them both. I loved them both dearly. And so given my affinity and my love and affection for Dimash, I thought I would react to another Dimash song today, and this one is called Stranger. I hope you like what I go for.
Спасибо. Спасибо огромное. А теперь прозвучит новая песня. Примеры.
So I won't take my headphones off because this is a really quick comment. I just want to articulate something that I'm feeling right now, which is a genuine sense of buzz and excitement. I think like Dimash has done, he's so impressive in the way that he sings and the messages he delivers and the way he performs. And I've seen enough of him now that, so I've never listened to this. I've never seen this. Remember, all my reactions are totally blind. I come to them totally blind. I don't know what's going on. And yet, enough has happened for Dimash to make me feel a genuine sense of excitement here about seeing what's he going to do here and what's this song going to be about. And I just want to linger there and just appreciate that. I think that's what the most influential music artists can do. They can have people feel anticipation about what's going to come because of what they've done in the past.
Stranger in a stranger's land, you chance to know who I am if I have the strength to begin again.
Right. What is this song about? That's what I want to know. What is this song about? Answers in the comments. What is this song about? So these are some of the things that I'm getting from it, right? So he's describing a person that, or person, a being, something that is seeing a new land for the first time. Except this person seems to have this sense of impermanence. He talked about that person existing in ancient times, for example, and now come into this new land with this opportunity to like begin again, like who am I, sort of thing. So what is he talking about? Is he talking about the idea that people live multiple lives? They come back from the dead and they're born again and they live another life, and maybe that just happens constantly. We constantly like are cycled through life. Or is he talking about a spirit or a godlike character that is able to move through times, from ancient times to current times, in different contexts? And so, yeah, like it's an interesting thing to try and get your head around. What's the song about? What is he talking about with respect to this stranger? Who is this stranger that he's talking about, that is going to have this new beginning? Could it be a religious thing? Could it be like a sense of like Jesus Christ, for example, existing in ancient times under the rubric of a god, and now he steps as a stranger onto a new land? Yeah. In terms of the performance, I love the intensity of it. I love the little instrument that's almost like a violin but isn't a violin. It brings like a real sort of like Eastern feel to the song. And I love the fact that he went from, like, the thing about Dimash's songs is, right, that I found is he starts off like really low and sort of like with a lovely sensual sort of tone, and then at some point it all takes off and goes bananas. I like the fact that he has now gone for like a lower tone in this second part of the song. But this stranger thing, the idea of, almost like permanence, almost like existing across time and never ending. I wonder what their relation is to the stranger, to that idea.
супер крутой!
Браво!
Спасибо огромное! Спасибо большое. Люблю вас сильно.
So I wonder, there are two parts to this. Part one is Dimash and his abilities, okay? And like, I'm sure when reactors react, that most are reacting to how ludicrous he is at singing. Now, it's in the last video, people talked about like some of his practices that enable him to sing so well. Like, I think it was like swimming and holding his breath and like all sorts of stuff that he does to be able to produce that voice. And there's something that I love about that. There's something I love about people that are disciplined enough to be good and to give it their all at the same time. Sometimes I look at Cristiano Ronaldo and I just think like to be as good as he is and to not rest there, but to be disciplined enough to be the first person in football training and the last person to leave football training. There's something about that I love. And what I love is that Dimash, like, it's not an accident. Dimash being able to do this is not an accident. It happens because he's honed his craft. He's figured out a way of getting the most value that he possibly can out of his voice by doing all these other things that build his body and whatnot. And there's something amazing about that. The fact that he's so comfortable at every level. When he's in the soft, low range, he's really comfortable. When he goes up the ranges, he's really comfortable. When he hits like the operatic notes, he's comfortable. When he hits the falsetto notes, he's comfortable. He's at the top of his game for every range, which is like it. You don't hear singers, even some of the best singers that have existed ever, have the ranges that they excel at and the ranges that they avoid. And he does it all, which is just, it's amazing. So that's the one side of thing, right? Which is like, you can't get away from how good he is as a performer and as a singer. Well, I wonder though, when someone is writing a song for Dimash, do they write it with the range in mind or with the message in mind? Because the messages of Dimash's song are usually really quite profound. And I wondered, did they start with the words or did they start with the melody and basically this question, how are we going to showcase how good Dimash is in this song? Do they start with that or do they start with the words? Now, in this song, I wonder if they started with the how are we gonna showcase just how good he is in terms of his vocals and his performance. And the reason I say that is because I struggle to make sense of the point of the song. So all dears out there, tell me what I've missed about this song and why the lyrics are important. This is what I'm getting. I'm getting the idea that someone is beginning again, which means that they've started somewhere else at some other point in time, and he used the word ancient, suggesting that this person isn't existing within a human lifespan. But he also said, but I want to have the strength. Will I have the strength to build who I am again? And it just made me think about, well, they can't be a god then, because a god doesn't struggle with strength. A god has strength. It's sort of like inbuilt into them, which makes me go full circle around to, is he talking about people being born again? But then there's people that are born again don't have an awareness of past lives, and so this person is aware that they're beginning again. And so yeah, it's sort of what I can't put my finger on is the exact meaning that Dimash is going for with respect to this song. And so dears out there, this is your chance. In the comments, tell me, what have I missed? What am I missing about the lyrics of this song that really matter? All right, I think that's it. I'm going to be really interested now in the to talk to Byron about like what his thoughts were and whether he picked up on anything that I didn't quite get. And I will see you next time. Take care. Did you pick up on the lyrics? What was yours? Well, because I was there. I was just there thinking, I think there's something spiritual going on, but like I couldn't quite make coherence or sense of what was going on in the lyrics.
What I find with Dimash is that
sometimes I'm so enthralled by his ability to manage sound
Yeah.
and how he produces that with his
Yeah.
voice. Sometimes I'll miss a word because I'm thinking this is a really slow part, and the way that he's
Yeah.
handling it is fantastic. And all of a sudden, then he'll change an octave, and
Yeah.
I didn't have the camera recording for that because I even caught myself looking down at this, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
genuine
Yeah.
shock because
Yeah.
that is really difficult. The only thing that I can think of is with A Stranger in a Stranger's Land is from personal experience is that, and I heard it somewhere a while back, and I can't remember if it was a podcast or something, but it's something that really resonated with me. And the person said, you are under no obligation to be the person that you were 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So what I take away from that is that every time I have moved,
Yeah.
I am leaving the
Yeah.
life that I had behind.
Yeah.
So then when you move into a new village or a new city or what have you, you are now a new person. You effectively are the stranger,
Yeah.
and you
Yeah.
have to rebuild because you have a chance to rebuild a new identity for yourself.
Yeah.
But then do you have the courage to do that? Are people just going to see you for the old person that
Yeah.
you're going to be? So that's
Yeah.
where it comes from.
That's interesting. So like, so I can appreciate that. I can see how you would take that from the song. And like, if you look at personality research, they did big studies on personality, right, where they measured personality at different time points throughout their life, from young to really old. And what they found was that personality traits are not stable. They change constantly. So like we as a species, we hold on to personality traits as if they're these fixed things in part of us that dictate our behavior. And in fact, you're right, we're constantly recreating ourselves, we're constantly changing. And like in this situation, if he is picking himself up and going to a new place, he has this opportunity to choose who he's going to be, to choose how he's going to hold himself as a human being. And I guess the question, he says, am I going to have the strength to do it? Now, maybe that suggests that in the previous place, there were some things that he didn't do that were quite in line with how he wanted to be. And maybe this time is a chance to be reborn, to try and sort of like, do things a little bit better. Now I can get with that, and I think people watching this could go, yeah, I get that. What trips me up is like it tells about ancient times, and it made me think about like, well, are we talking about human lifespan here, or are we talking about humans and the way that we change when we go into new situations, or are we talking about something bigger? And like, Dimash is obviously spiritual fella, religious fella, and so I guess in the context of his past songs, I was thinking, oh, maybe that's what he's going for. But in terms of sort of like a concrete psychological takeaway, I think the idea that we're always changing, and the idea that we can recreate ourselves in new situations and choose who we want to be, I think that's a really useful message, a good message.
Have you seen I can't remember if it's on Prime but the one with Ian something.
Yeah.
It used to be in Lovejoy. It's now called Gods.
Okay. Yeah.
And it talks, the whole thing about that is that I think he's Zeus.
Yeah.
But what's happening is he used to be strong.
Yeah.
But the way that the world has gone, because they are, with the way the religion, you pray to the god and everything, that is no longer happening. So he's having to reinvent himself or compete with a world now that no longer believes in religion in such the same way. So then it's all about the transition of then he has to grow again. Are you strong enough to reclaim your not reclaim your followers, but get your followers back? Because sometimes in the way that it's depicted, that the strength becomes from the praying and to the gods, and that is waning and his powers depleting.
That's interesting.
So there's many different connotations of how this can, and it's very difficult to.
I bet there's some explanation of it somewhere. We just obviously haven't watched it. I think the other you picked up on it just then. You said, "Stranger in a stranger's land." What's a stranger's land? What's a land of strangers? Like what is that? Stranger, like everybody in this land is a stranger. what is the clue there? It'll come to me later, be like, that's what he was talking about. But right now, it's just like, Diaz, they've got to be the people to fill in the comments.
Let us know.
Let us know exactly.
But sometimes you don't really know your true self until you're put in an uncomfortable situation, and whether starting a new job, even though that you know the job, you're effectively a stranger because that's a different ecosystem.
Yeah.
And you do doubt yourself. So do you have the strength to either build on what you was before, or are people going to find you out? Are you the fraud that you've always feel that you are? There's so many different ways to pick this apart, and usually with his songs there's a very clear message, but this is such open to interpretation that it's difficult to really pinpoint.
But it's ridiculous.